Welcome to my mind map exploring the brain regions which relates to Module 2. Each of the sections have a graphic attached to signify some of their functions. So to start with, let's look across to the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is made up of the frontal lobes, which are essential for understanding the world around us and have been attributed as the main driver of personality. Within the frontal lobes, the primary motor cortex resides. This area plays an important role in controlling our movement and is further divided into sections of our body parts, with the size of each body part being proportional to the difficulty in controlling it. The occipital lobes are dedicated to visual processing and analyzes color, line, form, and motion. The parietal lobes, which contain the primary somatosensory cortex, are responsible for processing somatosensory information, such as touch, pain, pressure, and temperature. The primary somatosensory cortex helps the parietal lobe interpret incoming sensory information. Lastly, the temporal lobes assist with auditory perception, recognizing faces, understanding language, and memory formation. Next, we can look across to our left and see the limbic system. The thalamus is the relay station for sending sensory information to the cerebral cortex to be processed by the primary motor cortex. This can be visualized by the relay team running the baton toward the cerebral cortex. Next is the amygdala, which is the emotion center of the brain, responsible for processing emotional cues. It also works closely with the hippocampus, which you can see by the line connecting the two. The hippocampus is imperative for memory formation, hence the amygdala and hippocampus work closely together. Lastly, the hypothalamus is important for the fight, flight, or freeze response, as well as regulating body temperature and the release of hormones. To the bottom right, there is the brainstem. The medulla is responsible for controlling vital functions like breathing, heart rate, and swallowing, as well as being a conduit for sensory and motor information, traveling between the body and the brain. The midbrain is a conduit between the brain and the spinal cord, as demonstrated by the line linking the two together. It is imperative for eye movement and reflexes. Lastly, the pons is involved in cortical arousal and the startle response. It also connects the cerebellum and the cerebral cortex, as seen by the following line, which signifies the cerebropontocerebellar pathway. This pathway assists with motor control and other brain functions. Lastly, the other section incorporates the cerebellum, spinal cord, corpus callosum, and the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia assists with the initiation and control of movement. It also works closely with the limbic system, as demonstrated again by the connecting line. When working together, the reward signals influence the basal ganglia's role in what actions we do or do not use. Next, the corpus callosum is a tract of nerve fibers that ensure the right and left hemispheres of the brain can communicate with one another. The cerebellum receives instructions from the cerebral cortex, which assists with motor movement, sequencing, as well as balance and posture. Lastly, the spinal cord is a two-way tract of nerve fibers that allows sensory information to be sent to the brain and motor commands to be sent to the muscles and organs. Thank you for listening.